This is February 10th, 2007, Gracie's immigration interview of Nana.
Good.
Okay. Nana,
Yes.
what country did you come from?
Ireland. Ireland.
How did you arrive?
By boat.
How many days did it take?
7. Just think you can do it in 5 hours now.
That's true.
I mean, really, we have learned a lot.
Yes, that's true. We can do it in 5 hours.
Yeah,
Did you go to school in your country?
I did, yes. Sisters of Mercy. Parochial school, yes.
If so, what was it like?
It was very nice. The nuns were very nice. I had a few favorite nuns. I've forgotten their names now, though.
How old were you when you moved to this country?
I had my 16th birthday here. So I was 15 or 9 months or something like that.
Mommy, look up.
So 15
Okay.
years old.
Okay, look.
15. Oh,
Right.
oh, this is on.
Yeah. You're going to be on television.
Can we hear a little more about the boat trip?
Yeah. Back that up.
Well, the boat trip was terrible because I was seasick when I got on it the first day. And it seems as though that day was hours and hours long because even though we got medication to keep us from being seasick, I got seasick that first day. But I was over it the second day. And the only thing that appalled me was the fact that there was water everywhere as far as once you moved out onto the harbor and moved farther out, all you saw was water. Miles and miles of water. And I thought, oh my God, is it ever going to end? Because that 7 days was a long time.
And no one there to help you when you were feeling sick? No
Oh
adults?
no,
or?
everybody was half sick, you know. I mean, people doing a trip like that for the first time would all be sick, maybe, you know. And I was not that much of a boat person in my lifetime. I had never been on the water until that trip. So I got that done. Okay.
Did you speak a different language?
No, I spoke English like we're speaking today.
But the country has another language, right?
They have, but they kept it down to control you.
Who did?
England.
So
It
you
wasn't
weren't.
allowed in the schools. And now all my Irish nieces and nephews send me everything in Irish. I can't read a word of what they're saying.
So you lived in Ireland and you were not taught how to read or write Gaelic?
No,
Is that right?
that's right. At that time,
Right.
I think they're teaching it since.
Yes.
And the time was 1929.
29.
Okay.
That's a long time ago.
Yes, it is. Okay.
What did your house look like?
My house at home, it was a small house, very much like this, size-wise.
What color?
And it had a thatched roof. Now,
Explain
Say
to her what that
again.
is.
Yeah.
the thatched roof
Thatched.
Thatched.
Gracie.
is like
Thatched.
made with straw.
Oh.
You know, you see it, and I have no pictures of.
I have some cottages
Yes.
Yeah.
at home, pictures
It
of
had a
cottages.
thatched roof, which keeps the house warm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you didn't have your own bedroom or anything like that, did you?
No, we shared the bedroom. It
And
was
how
a
many
small
bedrooms
house.
were there?
About 3, small. And then you had your living room, and we had what we called a Murphy bed. You know, comes out of the wall, because we had to share it, you know. And my sister and I slept in that. And then the boys slept in whatever other rooms we had to accommodate them.
And how did you heat your house?
Oh, we had coal where you could see the grate, you know, you could see the coal burning.
Oh.
Yeah, right. That's how we kept the house warm, yeah. And we had kerosene lamps hanging from the ceilings. You don't push the button and turn it, you did it this way. kerosene lamps, yeah.
Why did you have to leave?
I didn't have to leave, but I wanted to see something outside of Ireland. I wanted to see what was on the other side of the fence.
So
I was curious.
what
number
happened?
one.
How did you get to leave then?
I got on the boat and then got on a bigger boat. It moves out. The first boat is called a tender. They put you on that and they get you so many miles out, and then they put you on a bigger boat.
But before that, there was a cousin who was prepared to come to America, and you took his ticket. How did all that happen?
All that happened because he worked in a sawmill, and then they wouldn't allow you into the United States with anything wrong with you. I had to be physically so well that there was nothing. They were very fussy in those years.
And what was wrong with him?
He lost the 4 fingers on his right hand, and he was told he couldn't go because he'd be a burden to the country, which he would, I'm sure.
So you had to be physically well?
Yes.
Should you go
All
to
I
the
had to have
dentist?
dental work, 'cause I only had minor things like dental work. But they gave you thorough exams to be sure you weren't bringing any germs with you, if you thought you had anything.
And did you have to prove that you could read or write or anything?
Oh, I was reading and writing. I was about to graduate in June, but I left in February.
But did they require that you show
Oh, no,
proof?
you did.
Yeah, you had to.
You knew this, yeah.
And what else? Any other requirements? Did you need a certain amount of money or?
Oh, yes, you had to have $100, and you had to keep that for about 3 months, presuming that in 3 months' time you might get a job, or you're living with relatives or friends or something, but you're not bothering the state because you have no money. You spent your $100, and I kept that as long as I possibly could. My aunt wouldn't let me spend it. She said, whatever you need, you do without until that term is up. And so I did, you know.
And that's who you came to stay with in Boston?
And Aunt,
That's
An
where I
aunt.
came, an aunt, yes, yeah.
was she Aunt Louise? Aunt Grace? What was her name? I've forgotten.
Margaret.
Margaret.
I had 4 aunts. I had Aunt Lou, that's Lucy, Aunt Margaret, Aunt Mary. Oh no, I said Aunt Lou, didn't I? Yeah, that's Lucy. Okay,
Wasn't there a Grace in the mix?
Grace was my cousin.
Oh.
Grace is Louise's daughter.
Okay.
Is life different here?
Oh, life is much nicer here than it was there. Life is much better.
So how is it different?
When you had everything at your fingertips, for instance, you push the button and the light comes on. You know, instead of getting up and pulling that chain down and pulling the light down, which reminds me next time James comes, he has a job to clean that. I can see a lot of debris has gotten up there, but I can't get at it. When I was younger, I used to get on the table and wash it myself. Now it's James's job to wash that light.
How about cooking? How did you cook?
We cooked in that same stove,
At home.
because there was a burner, you know, for baking stuff and doing all that.
But not like now when you just turn a button and the fire comes on.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right, when you think of it though. When you think how hard it was to feed your family and cook meals and do everything
And wash your clothes?
and wash
How do you
your
wash your
clothes.
clothes?
You washed your clothes in a thing like a wash tub.
A washboard.
A washboard, I couldn't think of it.
And how do you eat animals? Do you have a farm? Meat?
Yeah, all the Lynches were farmers.
So,
So we had whatever we wanted, and
Yeah.
we had, Aunt Lucy had chickens, eggs, and she took them to market on Saturday and sold her eggs. And I remember one of the mistakes I made one day is she had a little shelf along when she made the jelly. She made jellies from all kinds of fruit we had growing on the property. And I managed to tip over that jar she had with the jelly getting set. You know, they still had pectin in those days. You know, that's the thing you add to make a gel. And when I think of it, I thought now that was a new thing, but they had, you put a little bit of that in and then it formed, and
And it
you
becomes
don't
gel.
disturb it though, because I remember I tipped it over and oh, she was hopping. But she was very good to me. That was Aunt Lou's house.
So she had chickens and jelly.
Yeah, I mean, and well, no, she
Fresh
took
eggs.
the eggs to the market. Saturday was market day, and that's when we got time to go to the theater.
Oh,
You know, we'd go in town with them when
to
they
the
went.
movies or an actual play?
No, you went to to the movies.
To the movies.
The same movies that you have now, only Charlie Chaplin and
Oh,
those
okay.
kind of people.
No, no
She's in
voice.
America.
Oh, she's in America. I'm thinking she's in
No,
Ireland.
No, that's right.
Okay.
No, you're in America when you're going to the movies. And Aunt Lou was in America selling the eggs and making the jelly.
Yeah, no, I wasn't in America at that time.
Okay.
That was one of, we went to those houses in the summer months
Okay.
to get the Fitzgeralds off the streets. You see, we lived like you open the door and that's your front entrance, and that's the house, and that's all you had
Okay.
in the times I'm talking about.
But are you in Ireland?
Yes.
I was in
Yes.
Ireland.
Okay.
So when you got
So,
out of school in
We
September,
got out of school, and the day we
in
got out,
June.
3 of us left for the 3 Lynch houses. Aunt Lou's and Aunt Mary's. I thought I had another aunt. I don't know what happened to her. But anyway,
and you went with a brother, who was you went with Michael,
no, Michael is my brother.
right? And he went off on the
He
summer
went
vacation
off in another
with you.
house.
Yeah.
No, we had a house for each of us because they
Oh.
had room in these old farmhouses had lots of nooks and crannies that you could hide in or rest in, you know. And we had, instead of having electricity, because on Saturdays they bought meat in the meat shops, you know, besides what you had on the farm. And we had what they call a little ice house. This shed makes me think of it, only it wasn't fancy like that, where you put big containers of water and that would freeze, and you came out with your platter or whatever you're saving and placed it on the ice. And almost every farmhouse had an ice house, small, a little shed, but it was all covered over with all kinds of things too. So the ice doesn't melt ahead of time, you know, you made it last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, honey.
I don't know how I thought of that, but I was thinking about Aunt Lou's jelly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she made all kinds of nice jellies. Sold them in little jars, like I have one in the refrigerator. Somebody gave me a raspberry jam. Right. Made me think of her. Okay.
Was it hard moving away from your family and or friends?
It was hard. I minded leaving school. I had lots of friends in school because I had been in the same school right along.
Were there boys in your school?
No, we had the Christian Brothers were for where my brothers went.
And the Sisters of Mercy was the
Sisters
sister
Mercy
school?
was for the nuns.
Yes.
Yes.
The girls.
The girls,
Right.
yes. And you know, they know so little. I remember the nun telling me, all you need is to meet a nice Catholic boy. And I thought to myself, boy, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But since I've thought to myself, oh my God. So this is the way. I mean, I do believe they think like that.
Yes, I
don't
do
know if they
believe
today.
so.
They don't
Yes.
today. Because they're all running around in their little jeeps and miniskirts. Even in Ireland, they are. It has changed so much.
Was it hard making friends because you were from a different country?
No, it wasn't, because everybody spoke English. And my sister, my cousin Grace, was teaching me to skate. Oh, that was torture. Because I had never put skates on my feet. I didn't even know how to do it.
This is ice skating?
This is ice skating.
Oh,
How old was
Grace's
Grace?
favorite thing.
Grace is about a year older than I am.
So you were just about
We're
16,
the
she was
same
about
age,
17,
yes.
yeah.
And she had a friend, Hazel. And Hazel and Grace would have me one end. And of course, I couldn't balance my ankles. I had never worn those things. Oh, that was terrible.
So there was another Grace in our family that was an ice skater.
No, she was an ice skater. Yeah, Grace was an ice skater too. Yeah. Right, that's true. And I didn't last very long with that. I found it was very painful. You know, you need to develop the strength where you need it,
I guess.
and you don't get it overnight.
So you had friends just because you had cousins your age.
I had, Louise is my other cousin, and she was older than I, and she was in Salem Normal School. That's where you went to go to train to be a teacher in those days. And that's where Louise got her degree to teach. I had two. I had Grace and Louise and Alden. They had a young boy, about 12. And I remember when I got there, he said, oh, you know, with basketball. And I had never heard that sound, and my aunt said, put that away, you should scare her, because I was not familiar with it, which I wasn't. And I had the most beautiful snowstorm, clean and white and lacy, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I'm out in the middle of my aunt's backyard while she's making tea, and they're looking out at me. What is she doing? And here I am. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Because in Ireland the climate is so damp, you couldn't make a snowball if you had a snowstorm. It was sloppy. And this was the beautiful, clean snowstorm. And the trees were draped with this. I was so impressed. Oh, I couldn't believe it. I'd never seen such a nice, of course I've seen hundreds of them since. And I'm not impressed with them at all. Anyway, but that was great.
Did people make fun of you because you were from a different country?
No. I wasn't that much different from a lot of other people. You know.
I think a lot of the people that came to the country stayed in areas that all other people from their country
Their
were.
area were, yes.
So
that's
you,
right.
even though she was in America, Grace, I think she was with a lot of other Irish people. Is that right, Nana?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily relatives, but
The community.
They settled in a certain area.
Yes.
Everybody did.
You
right.
know,
So the
like-
community was very heavily populated with Irish.
Yes.
Yes.
And all from around the same places.
And were the Irish immigrants welcomed in America, or were you made to feel?
Oh, you were made to feel uncomfortable, because in some windows you see no Irish need apply, and that was serious.
And what was that for? Why would they do that? Do you know?
I don't know, it was, well, I think it was much influenced by England.
Oh.
They wanted to control Ireland, and they've had a terrible time with them because they were still killing each other.
Right.
And I remember my mother having some kind of a dresser with bottom, that lower half of it, there was two doors, and my mother had some guys on the run, as we called it. You know, they'd shoot an Englishman if they had the chance.
Oh.
Or he'd shoot them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. There was always a war, it seems to be. But we could put Jack Darcy in there. He was a small man, and my mother protected him for a long time.
So you
Yes.
hid an Irish soldier in your drawer?
Yeah,
Your
in
kitchen.
the bottom of this cupboard.
Yeah.
Almost like Harriet Tubman hiding the slaves, like that?
Yes, just like that.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Wow, Grace. Isn't that amazing?
So
Yeah.
the people in America weren't allowed to.
This is back in
Back in
Ireland, honey.
sweetie.
Oh,
Yes, I was in Ireland at this time.
so in
And they'd come in
Ireland-
at night and just get in that thing, and my mother would give him something to eat. And because she was a
So
very
they would
staunch
protect the Irish soldier.
Irish person.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and-
the other Irish people in Ireland wouldn't let you have any Irish toys in there, or
Oh, well, no, we were kind of too big for that. I was getting too old for toys, and
Gracie, England was trying to control Ireland, and the citizens of Ireland were saying, no, we don't want that. Get out of our country.
yes,
So
that's right.
that became a battle. So the Irish soldiers would have to be taken care of by the Irish families because the English soldiers would be looking for them and trying to find them and
Oh, yeah.
kill them.
And killed them and
So the
ambushed
Irish families,
all
like
the time.
Nana's family, her
Yeah.
mom said, "Come on, I have a good hiding spot. Come and get in this little drawer at night, and they'll never find you."
That's right.
A little.
And they
like
would come in the
drone.
morning, you know, and I mean, as kids, we were very much afraid when the soldiers came to the door with bayonets, you know.
Oh yeah.
I had never seen anything like that. Because, you know, even though we were kind of tight-knit, we were not exposed to a lot of the things that were taking place around us. And,
They had these big giant drawers, almost like on the bottom of the entertainment
yeah,
center
just
now.
like
Huge drawers.
Entertainment.
You know, in your
Two
in your
doors.
den. You know that
the
big
bottom
drawer?
of your entertainment
But
thing.
there's a big. It was bigger than that. But
Yeah,
a person could fit in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
because I was gonna say a grown man shoved into a tiny drawer.
No.
yeah,
It's
but
a
he
big
wasn't
drawer.
a big
It's a
man.
big drawer and a small man.
Oh.
Yeah,
And he just had to stay overnight and be protected, and then he'd leave in the morning.
well, he'd leave as soon as he could,
Right.
get safely away to wherever he was going.
Well, let's hope he made it.
Oh, I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
Which country did you like better? Why?
This country.
And why did you like this country better?
Because there was a lot more. You know, there would have been nothing when I graduated from school. I'd have to work in the local candy shop
And marry the guy next door.
and marry the
Marry the
nice
Catholic guy
boy.
next door.
And
She had a spirit of adventure. She wanted to see
I
the
wanted
world.
to see what I could do, you know.
A bit of a gypsy.
Yes.
Still has it.
We had lots of gypsies in Ireland in the times I'm thinking of now. And you know,
Yes.
they all made pots and pans and whatever. They'd come along with their caravan and all the things they made. Yeah, they were very prevalent. They would also steal if they could. You know, if you left anything unattended, the gypsies would pick it up. But I remember them, in particular, roaming the country. It was comparatively peaceful among the people themselves. Nobody objected to anybody doing those things, you know.
They were all trying to survive.
Yet they were all trying to survive, that's right. That's right.
Did you travel here with family or alone?
No, I was pretty much alone.
Were you afraid? to
No,
go?
not really. I wasn't afraid.
Never has been.
So you weren't afraid to go on a boat with nobody else you knew?
Oh no, there was that boat was just like a city on water. Like the biggest boat I had ever been on was that big boat. And it was like 3 stories high. So it was a great big boat. But it was filled with people, all kinds of people.
This is the Life When You Were Young interview. So
When I was young.
I'm going to ask a few questions about when you were young in Ireland. So when and where were you born?
In County Clare,
And what year?
1912.
Were you born in a hospital?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
So you were born at home,
I think
and
so.
just other mothers came and helped you
Yeah,
into the world.
they had
No
midwives.
doctors and nurses, probably. Or
They had midwives,
oh, okay.
which are trained. They still have them in England, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, in Canada, midwife training.
And they come
So,
to the house when the
They
mother's
come
ready.
to the house and deliver the baby.
Mm.
Yeah,
So she was born in her own house.
yeah.
What was your favorite part of school?
Oh, stealing a ride of the bicycles. When we went out on recess, they had a whole rack, and everybody.
Recess is her favorite part. Sounds familiar.
So when we'd have our recess, we could. My sister May and I, we were terrible because we didn't have bicycles. We got one as we grew older, but it took a long time to get a bicycle. But we had learned to ride a bike, And we used to go around, and the nun would be up here in the third floor maybe of the convent, looking out, trying to bring us all in, you know. Bring the ones in who overstayed the recess and only wanted to ride the bike that they could get away with because they didn't chain them like they do now. I see them in Oak Grove, the bikes are all chained. So we used to do that.
What sports were offered? Did you play?
Oh, they had, I didn't. They had a lot of rugby. Now I don't know enough about it anymore.
I think that's like soccer, kind of,
Is
isn't
it like soccer?
I think it is,
Okay.
yes. And
And you didn't play?
oh, they
sports?
also played football. And I don't know any of the other sports.
Did they play baseball?
No, I don't think so, but they do now. They do now. They've learned all these. You see, they've begun to visit, and it became less expensive. Although my ticket, by the way, was only $100. In 1929, my ticket was $100. That's what my aunt paid for the ticket for Pat Frawley. So anyway, when you stop, think about it though. You travel for nothing. $100.
That's a lot of money. Not back in 1929.
Yeah,
That was a lot of
I
money.
guess it was.
Yeah.
So it'd be like $50 million.
Well, probably not quite that much, but maybe
Yeah, I guess it
$5,000.
was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I guess so. You're right.
What was your favorite game when you were little?
Oh, just playing jump rope outside the front of the house. I used to. I took care of the rest of my children, my family. I was the oldest. And I would just line them all against the wall and we'd play jump rope. And we played hopscotch and all those games that you can ride on the sidewalk. And also marbles. I remember I used to play marbles. It's called something else now. Do you know what it's called?
No.
Aggies, I think. A word like that.
No, but that's kind of a slang word for it.
Yeah.
But it has another official name.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't think of it.
What did you do in your spare time?
In my spare time, you mean in Ireland?
Yes.
Oh, I went job hunting. First, I got a job babysitting for a family in Winchester. And I used to go there in the morning.
Nana, Grace is talking about in Ireland.
No, I'm done with that. And I'm
No,
back.
she's still in
She
Ireland.
needs to stay in Ireland for a couple more questions. She wants to know what's your favorite thing to do. What did you do
When
in
you were
Ireland?
young,
When you were
10
Child
years old
in
or so.
Ireland.
Oh, well, we went for walks. Every Sunday afternoon you went to visit the Kellys or the O'Briens or whoever it is you were friends with, and they made tea, and you made a big to-do about it. You stayed there for hours, and all the families mingled and enjoyed each other. And we did this on Sundays after Mass.
Right.
It was a quiet Sunday. You know, you went to church, and then you came home and had your snack, and then you went, we visited. This is what you did. There was no entertainment, although everybody had one of those gramophones. Every house
Oh,
had one of
yeah.
those things. So you had music.
That's an old-fashioned stereo,
Yeah,
a gramophone, the
gramophone.
kind with a big
Yeah, a
kind
big
of
horn
tube
there.
thing on the
yeah,
top.
Yeah, right.
And no telephones, yes or no?
No, we didn't
No.
have a telephone. But you could go downtown and telephone if you have the money and you know what you're doing. You can do that.
Okay.
Different stores had telephones.
Was there a war going on when you were little in Ireland?
Was there a war going on? Yes, there was.
How did it affect your life?
Oh, well,
Well, you know that they
I was just
they
going-
hid Jack Darcy in the drawer.
well,
That's
we
one
put
way.
Jack Darcy in the cupboard, yes.
Jack. What was his last name?
D-A-R-C-Y. But he was a young kid, you know, just trying to beat the English. Of course he couldn't.
Did the war was your family hungry because of it, or no, because you were farmers?
Well, we were farmers. We were never hungry.
No.
And one of the things that my father resented was Aunt Lou would bring a bag this big of potatoes and a big thing of eggs, and they brought the farm produce home to us too. So my father couldn't stand those Lynch farmers. But he was a little jealous, you know, because he spent his money otherwise, so we
Yes.
had a hard time.
Did you have any favorite places you went after school?
Favorite places we went after school. We had favorite places. We took walks, you know. We used to go to the Rocky Road, and the whole inside of the Rocky Road was lined with not chestnuts. A small nut. What is that small round nut? Well, we picked
Acorn?
about the size of that, but you could eat it. We ate them on the way home, you know. Hazelnut, no, not hazelnuts, they're big, aren't they? I can't remember now. We used to go picking nuts. On Sundays. I mean, if you didn't visit your friends, you went picking nuts, because it was a nice place, like going off to some place where there'd be trees and shade and everything nice. And
Like walking around the lake.
you should, like walking around the lake. Right.
How was,
I can see that nut now. I can't remember the name of it. It's small. It's only about like kidney beans in size.
Mm-hmm.
But it had a very sweet nut. Everybody had the things in their pocket to crack that nut needed, you know. It was very good. That was the trip to the Rocky Road. Of course, a lot of romance also took place in those places.
Oh, did you understand that?
No, not
Boys
much.
and girls,
We
they
had-
both say no.
We had been told to kind of keep to yourselves, which we did.
how was then different from today?
How was what?
How was then back in Ireland different from today?
Oh, well, that you had everything so easy today. It's so easy, you know, to push the button and you got it. The conveniences are something to write home about. Oh yeah, well anyway, I got that first job with Mrs. Jackson, I think was her name. And she said, now, Doris, after the children had finished their breakfast, you would please take that back and run around and pick up the crumbs. Mrs. Jackson, that's physical work. I'm a Catholic. Sundays you'd never do anything like that. You'd leave it there. Oh, of course, she called my aunt immediately. She had to come and rescue me and say, well, she's come from another country. They don't work physically on Sundays. It's a day of rest. But I was surprised
And
that
who won? Did you have to vacuum or not?
I think I did have to do it because I wanted, this is my first job now.
Yes,
You're a
you want to keep it.
I want to keep it. Yeah.
Did you have a best friend when you were little?
No, I didn't really, because all my friends were in my class at school, you know. I had a whole classroom, a lot of students in my class.
So did you have any friends in your class?
Oh, I did. I can't think of their names now.
What was your favorite candy?
Oh, candy. Oh. I think they were called bonsais when we were small. And they're big
What are they called?
bonsais.
Oh, bull.
Bull, B-U-L-L. I mean, they were very nice and very, like a lot of whatever's in Mary Jane's, you could taste that caramel.
Peanut butter and caramel. Molasses.
Nougat, I think.
Molasses.
Yeah.
Molasses,
Yeah.
They're the brown candies with the white center? Are they brown caramel with a white
Yeah,
bottom
no,
of
they're
them?
not that soft. They're
Those are-
harder than that.
Those are cowtails.
Oh, Okay, well, anyway.
Well, we'll find Mary Jane.
Grace wondered if it would be taffy, because you enjoy taffy so much, but it's almost like taffy, right?
It's yes,
Yes.
but it's good and it's hard, you know. I know John brought me a box of chocolates. I can't eat them; they're all soft, like I didn't have a tooth in my head. And I like a hard piece of candy. I like a hard caramel. Anyway,
Did you have any pets?
pets? No, I don't.
In
think-
Ireland?
No, we didn't have.
In
You
pets.
had a
Ireland.
dog. You had a
Oh, we had Brandy.
Brandy.
Went to mass with my mother and went to the pub with my father.
Well, that's good. He's covered then.
He was covered. Yeah.
What kind of a dog was he?
An Irish setter, ugliest
Of
setter.
course. Oh, that's funny. Gracie, did you hear that? The dog went to church
Yeah.
and to the pub. He probably had a drink of beer or two in his life.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Who was your first friend in America?
Oh, I would have said Grace and Louise, my two cousins. Grace's last name was Crosby. Crosby. And she's still living in Lowell. She's alive and well.
How did you travel around in your country?
Oh, well, we had what we call the sidecar. It's a car that has a shelf on the 2 seats, one at each side of the thing, and it was pulled by a horse. And then we also had a smaller thing called a trap, which was you open the back door and two seats.
Pulled
one
by
at
a
each
horse?
side.
Also pulled by a horse?
Well, a pony. That would be the one you took to church.
Okay.
The trap. You took the trap to church.
Why? What's the difference?
Well, it's just not quite as taking up so much space. You have to park that thing,
Oh,
and you have to tie the horse to the post.
yes.
You had to provide that he did not.
Horse and
Nobody
buggy.
bothered him.
So it was a horse and buggy is how you traveled?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something the shape of a horse and buggy.
Okay.
We may have to stop.
Were there cars like how we have cars now?
Yes. Yeah. Pulled by a horse. And usually upholstered seats, and it was fancy those times.
Well, cars that you actually drive around with the wheel and the
We didn't have an automobile.
Were there any in your country at that time?
Oh, yes, there was, sure.
Okay.
Lots of smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my brother Michael had the franchise for the Ford company
Oh, wow.
in Ireland.
Did you have any siblings?
Did I have any siblings? Yes.
How many?
I had, oh, wait a minute, I have to count them.
You can name them.
My sister May,
Okay.
one sister. And then I had 3 brothers, Michael, Morris, and Peter.
Did you have homework when you went to school?
I did, yes.
Oh, all right.
I was a good student, by the way. I like school. I love school.
Did you have to do any chores?
Around the house?
Yes.
Oh, I had to watch the kids because my mother worked at home. My mother was a seamstress, and she worked in her sewing machine. And I had to take care of the other kids, the younger ones. They were not that much care, but you have to keep them all together.
What do you miss most about your country?
Oh, about my country now? I have nobody left very close. I have the grandchildren's children. I have nobody belonging to me. I'm the last of that clan. I mean, they'll throw away the mold, won't they?
Unless one of us was lucky enough to get it.
Pass it down is what they've done with it.
Well, you know, I was talking to John, and he suggested his kids wanted him to retire. I said, oh, don't do that, John. You're going to be so lost. Don't retire till you have to. When the good Lord calls you, that's when I'm retiring. But he was shocked that I would feel that way about it. Because I know what would happen. You see, Lynn will do whatever she's doing and leave him floundering.
And
And
you,
it's very hard on a man.
what do you do now for work?
What
You
do I
still
do?
work.
Volunteers.
I do my 2 jobs.
And one is, tell me what they are again?
I work in the pharmacy up here in the Melrose Wakefield.
Hospital?
Oh, and which reminds me, I have bags of books for you.
Oh,
You can
okay.
take whatever you like in there.
Thank you.
And now we've moved, and I have a smaller place. It is miserable. I've been asking them to ask anybody who has an excess of bookcases to give me a couple, because now I have all the books people have been saving for
Yeah.
me. And I get a lot of them for nothing, you know, from the art sales. I say, if you don't send your books, would you mind donating them? And if you'd like, be so kind as to put them on my porch, that would be great. So I often have boxes of books just for the patients.
Good.
But anyway, I have a lot of them right now.
What is the other job?
The other day, I fill all the stuff for the pharmacy.
Oh, right.
The man comes and opens the big carton, and I have my own table and my own work. I like that job. And I'm very good at it. They tell me they're very happy to have me. Because anything that's spelled different, I'm running out to this. John, this is not right. Not what you have on your paper. Oh, he says different manufacturers don't spell it right. These are Italian immigrants too. And you know, they understand that a letter could throw me off because I'm not familiar with the pharmacy business. And so I call their attention to anything that's different. And then I can go ahead and do what I'm doing. So it's fine.
Thank you, Nana, for letting me interview you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Are you done?
Yes.